Welcome to the Social Mission Revolution. Each week we explore some of the greatest undertold stories of businesses and everyday people who are making their ultimate impact on the world through social mission. This is Social Mission Revolution, and this is your host, Andrea Putting. Welcome to another episode of the Social Mission Revolution, and I'm here today with Zahrina Robertson, and I'm thrilled to have her here with me today because she's doing some incredible things, and I'd like to welcome her to the podcast. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Andrea. Thanks for having me.
So I'd love you to tell everyone a little bit about what it is that you do in the world to start with, because that in itself is fascinating, some of the work that you do.
I'm going to ask you, what do you think is fascinating about what I do? Oh my gosh, I'd like to know.
Well, I know that you're a photographer and you do branding, and that you've done photography of some pretty interesting people in your work, and that's always a lot of interest to people when you start to drop a few names here and there of some of the work that you've done.
Yes. So I am a thought leader, a leader in branding and photography and speaking about it, personal branding. And it is just based around, for me, your messaging and how you come across on your visual, your visual platforms. So how you come across, how you're captured in your images as a brand, as a personal brand, and what does that say about you as a personal brand, so in business. So mainly I just based around my business in the last 10 years on entrepreneurs, thought leaders, international gurus like Richard Branson, a lot of people, like lots of people, Arnold Schwarzenegger, different people, different walks of life, people who are startups to international entrepreneurs and Hollywood stars, just different people. And I love it. And I just started that journey tapping into my giftedness of knowing how to do images properly, fast, and with showing the person's credibility, capturing their credibility, capturing their essence, and really good at it. Yeah. So a couple of awards later and a couple of books and a lot of events I've spoken at and a lot of interviews like this later. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that's always an interesting thing, because people think they can just grab their little mobile phone and take a snap and use that for their branding, and you can't. You really need to have that whole experience to get those images correct.
Yeah. So I've got a lot of thoughts about that. I've written many books on branding, 10 books. I've written many books on all of this. I just love it. I do love it. It's really interesting because I have gone through myself I think it's an awakening, and I've not really spoken about it that much at all, really. A spiritual or an awakening or something to do with the soul or spirit. And I'm not very spiritual, type of thing. I just been doing this for a long time, all the branding of these people, and their kudos is amazing. And then I started one day painting. I started painting, and then I had this canvas in the studio here, sitting here for 2 years blank in the plastic. I had a client that was an artist that came in and wanted her branding done from Perth. And I was like, wow, she's fascinating. I've never had an artist want her branding done. I'm like, God, especially for me in my caliber of what I do and the type of people I work with, I thought, you know. Anyway, so I did it, and we went through this whole process with her, and she's a beautiful lady. And then, and I just had that canvas sitting around in this, and it just triggered something, I suppose. And I had a moment where I was working with, I had an incident last year where, and I think everybody can relate to this in business or anyone, even if it's a housewife at home, you know, dealing with a tradesman that's driving her nuts. I had a client that was just kind of driving me nuts. And it was just like a turning point of, oh my God, I'm dealing with a nutbag. Why am I dealing with this nutbag? This is like killing me. I'm not done dealing with a nutbag in a long time, like for a long time. And it's just like, it just really took me, by surprise, but it took me to a vulnerability part of me. And it just started making things within me churn and change and go really into myself, right? So I started questioning a lot of stuff. I started questioning my purpose. What am I doing with my business branding part, which is, it's there and I'm doing it, but what am I doing with my value system? What am I doing with me? What am I doing for me? So it just questioned a whole lot of things, you know. It just all came out like a vomit, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell hit me, right? But all I know is that September last year, I started painting, and I launched a website called ZahrinaGallery.com to be an online gallery. I just put my stuff up there and do that. And then on New Year's Eve, I was approached by New York Art Gallery to come to New York and show my work. And that kind of like, wow, that's crazy. And it took me 3 weeks to decide, because I'm like, oh, this is nuts. And I better not do it because I don't know what's going to happen. And then my girlfriend said to me, Zahrina, you better go there for the experience or else. I'm like, okay, I'm going. And so I went. I came back in March, April this year. And then I came back and I just went, wow, well, now what do? I have to launch myself in Australia. You know, I mean, I can't be an artist who's launched myself in New York and not maybe launched myself in my own home country. So I did that 2 weeks ago, and it was amazing. But that's another story.
Yeah.
Like, this whole thing has just evolved because I have found literally something deep within myself that is meaning for me, which is hashtag art on purpose. Yeah. And that means a lot to me. And the art on purpose is about me painting my ocean original pieces and my abstract pieces, but my ocean original pieces for lovers of the ocean and want to protect the ocean from all the millions and millions of plastics that are floating in the ocean that are killing our animals. It's shocking for our whole system of our ecosystem of us as humans living on the planet. Just the whole system, the whole ecosystem, the whole thing is just sickening.
Yeah.
And when I do ocean pieces and I'm painting them with purpose. And art on purpose is me connecting the ocean pieces to parts of the ocean and in the world and the globe that are getting affected by the crappy plastics, the microplastics that are affecting that beach, affecting that ocean, affecting the waters, and affecting the society that are living there, and then affecting those beautiful animals that have to swallow all the gunk in their stomachs of the plastics and the microplastics that are killing them. So when I'm doing my pieces and creating my ocean paintings, they're big, they're impactful, but I created it with a mission and my purpose to balance my love of what I have for me, my purpose. So when I'm saying my purpose, it's a purpose for the globe, it's a purpose for society, but it's also interesting that I came to this point from branding other people's missions and their purpose. So I was always living on. So it's really interesting because there's an article in the airlines that is about to go out into the 30,000 feet
above
up in the sky, which is pretty cool. About my art on purpose. Now, what's interesting is that I had that interview and it was so beautifully articulated by the journal that literally my purpose was creating the purpose for branding in my behind the lens, which is my gift, behind the lens, my natural gift, for all these entrepreneurs and business people, men and women, for their purpose. And while I was doing it, I was always doing it and doing it for them. But I loved it, right? No problem. I loved it. And it was an interesting money exchange. Like that, you know, it was good. A creative and money exchange. But then you're putting me into this realm of painting. I've never painted in my life. I've never picked up a paintbrush. I've never picked up anything like this in my life, ever. And until like this time last year, September last year, to what's happened now, it's crazy. So I've got what happened in March, and I'll take you back to this year, in New York, when I was talking to all these people, I just was talking to people about my art and all. And I had a woman come up to me and she said she loved my work. She was with another lady and they're talking to me about my art. It's all wonderful. And I said, what do you do? She's an actress. I said, oh, that's fantastic. Maybe everyone's an actress. I don't know. I'm just talking to everyone, right? And then next thing you know, she said, I'm a actress. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I didn't know what else to say. And we chatted. And then she got my information. And then 3 weeks later, I came back to Australia, and then I got an email. She wanted me to paint her a painting. And I was like, wow, oh my gosh.
Seriously?
I said to my husband, I said, oh my God, look at who this is. Then she and I got on Skype and spoke, like you and I talking about her art painting. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And she said, I said what I'm going to call it. And she said, oh no, Zahrina, I like pinks and reds. I went, oh my God, pinks and reds. Oh, okay. So
wow.
I did my style of pinks and reds, which is fun. Anyway, that's in the gallery at the moment. And with Hollywood actresses for her. It's amazing. It's a big, beautiful piece. It's wonderful. It's very, really cool. It's very cool. Lots of movement and ocean and it's energy in it. And what happened is that I'm also done a painting for Tony Robbins, international guru.
Yes.
I'm going to deliver that to him in front of the 5,000 people tomorrow.
Wow.
Which is great. UPW, Unleash the Power Within.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful. So I'm just a convert. I love him to bits. I just think he is the guru, and I just learned so much from him, and I just continue to learn. But he really changed me up a bit, and this is where it's just all coming from. It's quite an awakening, really, quietly, an awakening of the giant within, I guess,
Yeah.
And I've called his painting Destiny's Date. And I can't wait to show him because I tell you, it's going to be hot. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful ocean piece. Now, that's in the gallery, and that was launched 2 weeks ago with his on the wall. Taking on the art on purpose and all this, it's really been a beautiful journey of mixing my passion, my creativity. People are freaking out about. I can't believe it. I'm getting so many people going, oh my God. Oh my God. Like they're so excited, they're blown away that I could do this. I'm like, well, I'm blown away too.
Well, some people spend their whole life doing it, and then you just come along and pick up a paintbrush and off you go.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. I've gone on to a journey of my, family tree. I'm going, I want to know about my family. Now, my dad was a photographer, and I know that then I suddenly see my cousin had some paintings up on her Instagram, and I went, hang on, something in my family's going on. I want to know what's going on. So I just started working out, trying to put some dots together, right?
Yeah.
Basically, I'm really finding a great balance, a beautiful inner peace balance of my purpose on life, of my art on purpose hashtag. I want to make headways with that, because that's really important to me, that these microplastics, it's just shocking. It just makes me want to cry. I grew up in Caloundra, Queensland, Sunshine Coast.
So the ocean would be very important to you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important. And I grew up with this. Like, I grew up on the beach, in the water. I grew up in the water. In Caloundra, the Sunshine Coast. It's not like it just means so much to me. But I grew up with the little fish swimming around me and a fish tank 6 foot long in my home. I was just mesmerized at watching all these beautiful fish floating around, and in a beautiful environment that was just full of equilibrium, coral, color, movement, ocean, love, just beautiful. I grew up in all that, right? And here I am painting it. And it just means nothing more for me to share that art on purpose message through Instagram with Zahrina Artist on Instagram. Through that. And through that, it's come organically, it's come naturally, and it's come on purpose. And it's, to me, a whole lot of this stuff has come at the right time. And I look at this and I think, wow, this is amazing. I had no idea this was happening to me last year at all. I mean, I just didn't know. I was just doing my thing. I was just creating, and I was just creating. That's it. And then I found my groove, and that's my purpose. And it's so interesting to share that. And I'm kind of like, I think I'm kind of, being a bit shy about sharing all of this as well, because I'm known for what I do, right, which is branding, but then you just don't know, and I actually don't, maybe I don't care anymore what people think, but it's just, I just have found, I don't know how to explain it, it's very emotional, really.
Yeah, because it's just that great.
People are buying my art, and I love it because they're buying my art because I want that art piece only to go to people that actually understand my message and value that. To me, if they value that and they're buying my art piece, that's just heaven,
Yeah. So
obviously they're collector's pieces, right? Because, they're originals.
They are, and always nice to have an original. So can I just squeeze in that question that I ask everybody of, if there was just one thing for you to fight for, what would it be? And I think we've probably touched on some of that already.
Yeah, every single little breathing, floating soul in the ocean, everything in the ocean, everything and above the ocean, everything that relies on that ocean, on our ocean, and everything that relies on our ocean.
Yeah.
Everything. I cannot tell you, it's just sickening to see what happens when you've got big businesses out there manipulating little people and communities to produce plastics to hold water bottles, like water bottles, to that then make money from that water bottle that holds water that they've gone and taken from a community and not paid for it, and then going and discarding that plastic bottle. I don't know, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. Like the
Cokes logic, of the
is there? There's really, I don't know. I just don't, I wasn't this fanatic. I'm sorry, I wasn't this fanatic. I'm not this crazy, right? But I'm starting to get crazy about it because I'm starting to be so much more aware. I would go, yeah, whatever, there's somebody on their high horse. Man, when you're in it and you're starting to really see what's happening, the impact, this is quite interesting what it does. Like, it's really very fascinating. Does that make sense or not?
It does. And it fascinates me that moment of awakening, which is something that I talk about a lot, is going beyond the why. Then suddenly, when you're not least expect it, then something comes along that says to you, this is my thing that I have to make a difference in the world with.
Yeah, that's it. So making a difference in the world, right? This is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. I thought I was making a difference in the world for other people because I was contributing, right?
Yes.
I was contributing to them. And I started to really get it, and I get it. But now it's finally put into perspective because now I've got something I can contribute to that I can talk about and try and maybe help, God knows, just try and feel it, just help our environment somehow.
Yeah, when that moment hits you, it's something you can't not do. It just fills you, and you have to make that difference.
Yeah, it's almost like when you came and asked me to do this. It's like, oh, wow, that's good. That's nice. That's great. You know, I can get my message out there. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. So I want to ask you, because you do branding as well, how do you see that makes a difference for business to have this passion that takes you? It's like it's separate, but it's not. So how do you see that fits in together and helps a business to grow?
You mean, how do I sharing my message for the brand of Zahrina Gallery, you mean?
Yeah, well, because you said you've been helping other people do work on their purpose.
Yeah.
And a lot of them would have a bigger purpose than just their business. So how do you now look at this now that you've found something greater than your day-to-day work that's driving you? How do you find that relates back into business to help build that?
Yeah, because I can actually have a conversation about everybody and to everybody about their behaviours, about their, about their behaviours. I mean, without, sure, we're going to feel guilty after talking about to me, because but I feel guilty about living on the planet. I feel guilty a bit about this whole feeling I've contributed a lot to this plastic shit, like I just feel like, I can talk to people about something else other than business. It's deeper. It's a bigger global thing we've got to talk about. We've got to share. We've got to share everything. Everybody drinks out of a plastic bottle. Everybody touches something that's plastic in their life at least probably 20 times a day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're touching plastic stuff all the time.
Yeah, it just depends.
Start thinking about, whoa, plastic, what are we doing? Where's that going? After I'm dead, or where is it gone? I just want people to sort of start thinking that way. Like, what are we touching that's plastic every day?
Yep.
And then, you know what I mean? And then just really having a talk about that. And also, sharing that my art is a reminder, a clear reminder that painting those clear, beautiful oceans and the abstracts that I do in the beautiful blues and the heavens of the blues and the movement and on there, on my paintings, I don't want to be painting floating islands of rubbish on my paintings.
No. We don't want to.
And if I did, here's the thing. If I did, the clicker is, would they sell?
No. Probably not.
Everybody wants a clean ocean.
Yes. So then you've started up your own art gallery where you.
No, so that was an opportunity from Malta, a big development company, and they approached me. So that's what happened. They approached me. They heard about my story, and the big head honchos of this billion-dollar company approached me about it and said, Zahrina, we will build you an art gallery. I went,
wow. Okay.
Get out of town. What's the hook? Come on, share the hook. Now, wait, no hook. I turned up, rubble everywhere. They built, they painted, they hung, everything was done, lighting, amazing, spectacular. I organised 200 people to that opening. organised all the catering, the original, Ridges at resorts and hotels are beautiful people. Great food. For 200 people, wine, everything. It was just spectacular, right? And it was all the photos are on my Zahrina Gallery Facebook page. Oh, it was a great event. Great event to launch the art on purpose, to launch the work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing. And ever since the work's been selling, so it's good.
Yeah.
And it finishes up on the 28th of September. But at the end of the day, I'm so super glad I've done it. Super glad. And it can just evolve from now,
And that's another interesting part of a story here is that when you start to move on to that purpose that's really pulling you, things open up for you and opportunities come about.
There's something I really believe in. This whole scenario, this whole thing has been, you believe in, look, again, I'm not highly religious, but I swear my soul or something or energy or something around me or whatever that is was pushing me. It's been pushing me to do something. I didn't know what it was. And I thought it was photography, but I just don't know. I'm going to get crying. It's really something big like this. It's just beautiful. It's just organic. It's natural,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's being ready to make that move when that something comes along in your life is to listen to that and just go for it.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Don't even know how to put words to it.
No.
I know. It's just this energy. It's like this real kind of like within here. It's a yearning. It's a creation type thing. It's like, Zahrina, you got to paint. Do paint. Do something. Do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So it's strange because I did a photo shoot yesterday, and and that's all great. I was like, I'm doing it, but I'm getting called within my soul in a way. It's a weird thing to say and it says paint.
So
okay,
you paint.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know a lot of artistic people get that. And sometimes I have to sit and write. So it's like, you've got to sit and write. I have no idea what I'm writing. I'll just write.
Because I don't know. It's just really interesting because I've never picked up a paintbrush before,
Yeah. So anyone out there's feeling like they are yearning to pick up a paintbrush, here's a great example. Just do it. Have a lot of fun. Make a mess.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Yeah, the whole art industry, the whole industry is interesting in itself, So that's another stuff. That's another.
Yeah. So, if you had any advice for anyone who is starting to feel a little bit like there's something out there bigger for me to do, what advice would you give them?
I don't know what I did. I just sat there. I sat and I questioned everything. I just questioned all sorts of weird things that were happening to me or me. Yeah, I just questioned it all. And I just questioned myself. I try and align my values. I just try to align your values again, realign your values. And that's why I base, when I do branding and I speak about that from stage about branding, about your values, Maybe I lost my values in what I was doing in a money exchange, right? Before, maybe I lost a little bit there and then I just had to realign myself with something that is actually aligned with my values, which is art on purpose, which is for creating incredible pieces of art of oceans to shift people, not just to paint for painting. Does that make sense? Not just to paint for my sake. Do you know what I mean?
But to do something greater.
Yeah, and I know I've always taken my whole careers, whatever I've done, I've taken it to not being a hobby. I don't like hobbies, I hate them. So it's more purpose. I do my photography, I do my speaking, and I educate people on purpose, and I help them on purpose, and then I'm doing my art on purpose, you know. So it's really, in my whole life, I think this is this big umbrella thing for me.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. You know, every day I'm discovering it, really.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Being open continuously to be guided by something to do that greater purpose in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. It's interesting. I just think people just take time to think, sit, and do not much of it. You know, I don't know. I actually went off I went off social media. I think for about nearly a year, or just wasn't interested in it. I lost myself in it, and so I lost myself while I lost myself and got off it. Anyway, I had nothing to say. I was just like, no, not interested. And that was it. I think I just had to get myself away from distractions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a very important part of listening to where you're going, is to be able to let go of everything else to allow something new to come in.
Yeah, and you know what? People said that to me, just what you just said. I was like, I was just doing it. I wasn't doing what I heard to do.
No.
I actually just was doing it, and I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It sounds very much organic, and to the kind of very processes that I would be telling people to go through is searching through your values and questioning your story and what you're passionate about, and then letting it all go.
People can tell you to do this stuff, but you know what? Yeah. No way until you are doing it, or you're feeling it, or you're just doing it, that you actually feel like you're in the middle of that process. You can listen to the cows come home about all this sort of stuff. You know, gurus can talk, whatever, but until you as the person is not ready, you just got to be open.
Yeah.
And only ready. And you don't know until you're doing it. It's so weird, isn't it? It's just so weird. And some people could do that when they're 25. Some people do it when they're 105. I'm just so glad I've done it now.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Where I've got energy to share my stuff, to share my difference, and to make a difference. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like that. And I think that's been really, really a big awakening the more I talk about this all the time. The more I talk about this, it's been that awakening.
Yeah. And it's wonderful to see that expression coming through. It's very enlightening, very inspiring to see that passion. So how could people get in touch with you if they want to know about your art or about your branding work or photography? How would they get in touch with you?
I'm on Instagram at Zahrina, at Zahrina, Zahrina artist, with an artist as an artist, 2 words together.
Yep.
And you look at an A and you use that for the second word. It's weird. Anyway, Zahrina artist, and then ZahrinaGallery.com.
Okay.
Zahrina gallery.com. That's the website, but Facebook as well. Zahrina Gallery Facebook page, and I share my art of what I've created and my paintings and what I'm doing, and like things that I'm sharing with people, and it's going to get a lot more defining, because I'm really, I'm just being me,
Yeah.
Slowly. I just kind of started, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like a rebirth, right? In a really weird way. Yeah. And I'm like, people are going to follow you, or they're going to follow you. I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm just doing my art and painting it for the purpose of looking after our oceans and our next generation, to enjoy the ocean, not to come across walk on the beach and see a dead bird who's filled with plastic.
Yeah.
That's sickening. I've got an 11-year-old boy. I want it for him. Does that make sense?
Of course. We want We want our children and grandchildren to have that beautiful world that we all want to live in.
Yeah, but it's so hard. I mean, there's so many animals going extinct every day. It's like all this stuff's going on, and I'm just freaking out. I'm like, wow, this is crazy stuff. Like, this is crazy what we're doing to our planet. There are so many good people out there trying their best to do things. They're great organizations just trying to do their best to do things. It's just such a big, big global, like it's like a tsunami of so many issues the humans have put on doing that we're doing to ourselves. Does that make sense? Oh, it's just overwhelming, quite frankly. And I can understand why. I can truly understand why I was not ignorant, but just kind of a little bit, oh yeah,
complacent.
Someone will look after something.
Yep.
Is that, and I was like, someone else was there. They can waste their voice on something, like, looking after the white rhinos.
Yeah, someone else can do that bit.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh gosh, like I go to Dubbo Zoo and I see the rhino, when they, the fertility program and stuff like that happening. It's just so exciting, when you see stuff that, it's happening.
Yeah.
Like with something.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's such a big thing that we're living in, a problem. It's hard. It's ego driven. It's just so ego driven. I can't even put a word to it, man. I can't. I'm overwhelmed with it, actually. You know what I mean?
It can be overwhelming, but I keep seeing all these wonderful people that I talk to who all have these passions, and so I like to see the world in a positive way, that there is so many people working to make a difference, that the differences that are needed are made.
Yeah. Okay, it's great.
So I'd love to thank you for being on the podcast this morning. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you and hearing all about the artwork and what's really driving you in your life at the moment.
Thank you. And hopefully you read up about the story 30,000 feet up in the sky in an aeroplane magazine.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure, and I'll put all your links onto the information with the podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That'd be great. And like, if you're listening to this podcast, tell me you listened to it. I'd love to connect with you. And write a comment on Instagram or the Facebook page and tell me that, because I would love that. I would love to know that I've helped or given help someone who listens to this podcast. Would be great.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
And that's another episode of the Social Mission Revolution, and I'll be back again next week with another social mission revolutionist.
Thank you.
This has been the Social Mission Revolution with Andrea Putting. Join me again next week when we'll speak to another social mission revolutionist who will inspire you on your journey to making your ultimate impact on the world.